All right, we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our live stream, and I really want to focus on an important topic that I've been getting lots of questions about. I've been seeing people talk about online, and I want to make this video to help you think about this and set the record straight, because we're seeing some layoffs happen across the tech industry right now, sometimes for developers, and also some of this is happening in the crypto industry as well. So I want to talk about it, whether you should worry about this, and what my thoughts on this, what I'm seeing in the space as someone who hires developers myself, who watches inbound project leads, all that type of stuff. I got a pretty good pulse on what's happening in the industry, and I want to talk about all that in this video today. We'll look at that. We'll look at a lot of other things that have happened in the space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. So if you're trying to become a Web 3.0 developer, definitely smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel. That you're going to want to join us on our journey, because the last thing you want to do is check out right now while cryptocurrency prices are low. This is the perfect time to have your head down, building and watching what's new coming in this space. We're going to bring that to you every single day. So smash that like button down below, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you want to know how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Above Realty. We got Anthony, Wicked, Rodrigo. See here. Rud Revere. Hope I'm saying that right. D. Jake. Let's see here. Eric. Welcome. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's talk about some of the layoffs that are happening in tech right now that have trickled over into the crypto space as well, and whether you should worry about this. Okay, so let me just pull this article on my screen here. I saw this article floating around yesterday, not just this one, but others that were saying the same type of thing. So basically, Coinbase, one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, especially in the United States, extends a hiring pause for foreseeable future and plans to rescind some offers. Okay. We're seeing some other companies in the broader tech ecosystem also have some layoffs, sometimes for developers. Okay. So I want to talk about this. Should you worry? And how does this play into the bigger part of the economy with what's going on with crypto? So the first thing you have to understand is definitely what's happening right now in the job market is not a crypto specific problem only. Okay, there's some things that are specific to crypto, but let's talk about the overall economy. What we've seen over the past 6 months or so with the stock market going down like crazy is we've seen tech valuations go down quite a bit, and a lot of those publicly traded companies, they're always concerned about what their valuations are. Like price to earnings ratio are huge, right? So that and also just their ability to grow. So even if they're not publicly traded, they're always worried about what valuation is, and part of their their revenue and all that type of stuff is really important, especially now that things have kind of gotten repriced and venture capital has kind of changed pace with the broader economic factors. So it's not just a crypto specific problem; it's kind of happening across the board with growth based industries. Tech is one of those, and crypto is definitely one too. So. So it's not just crypto specific. That's the whole first point. The second thing is, are we in a part of some sort of recession right now? What does that mean for the broader economy? We don't have the actual numbers out on that to confirm whether we're in a recession or not. I personally think we are. Okay, stuff feels like a recession right now. Okay, but we won't actually get the numbers out until we get the GDP numbers at the end of after the second quarter closes, which we still have to wait some time for that. Okay, so. Now, let's talk about in crypto. So, definitely with crypto, there is some special concern here from a lot of these companies because, they, especially ones that were built during the last, have been around for a while, seeing some of the bear markets in crypto. There's a lot of uncertainty on, what happens, how long these drawdowns last. And a company like Coinbase, for sure, is highly dependent upon fee revenue generated from their cryptocurrency exchange. I'm sure that, I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm sure that goes up astronomically during bull markets and goes down quite a bit during bear markets. Some of that's specific to their use cases. Now, let's talk about, what does this mean for actual blockchain developers inside this niche, okay? So, I jotted down a couple different notes here. I want to kind of stick to the script and look at those because I want to make sure that I'm providing the right value for you all. So first of all, you have to understand that a lot of layoffs we're also seeing is because a lot of these companies are trying to grow really fast, and some of the layoffs are probably got to do with the offset on some of those hires that they did while they were sort of in this expansion mode. Okay, so basically, like if people were hiring like crazy at the end of last year, that's because they expected for things to continue growing. And now things aren't growing quite as fast as they are, which is kind of what happens in a recession. They kind of have to backtrack a little bit. Okay, so whether that means they had to rescind offers from people they just hired or start cutting from other parts of sort of their labor force, that's kind of what happens. So these companies aren't going away. All right, a lot of them are not. So, in crypto, let's talk about it, right? So I'll talk about this as somebody who has experience on every side of this issue. So as someone who's worked a regular developer job, someone who has, been an independent contractor, someone who hires developers now, so I understand how businesses, make hiring and firing decisions based on what they think their future is going to be, and also as somebody who went through the 2018-2019 bear market. So right now, with crypto, I think a lot of people are wondering, is basically the overall demand for blockchain development going to dry up? And my quick answer to that is absolutely not. All right. So even if we see some slow growth in the industry, the demand for blockchain development is definitely not going away. Okay. So now what does that mean for, individual blockchain development jobs? Well, you could see some these types of companies right here that, made some layoffs who were, making these decisions. But I think what we're going to see is like a big sort of like wave of that happening initially. And I don't see that thing like just cascading on for months and months and months on end to where it just makes the job market for blockchain development bad by any stretch of the imagination. As we were seeing something come out yesterday, I've seen lots of people say like, hey, like, if you got laid off from one of these companies, like we got all these people that are hiring. Okay. I'm seeing news stories all the time on, the front page of lots of crypto websites that are still talking about all these crypto companies that are raising tons and tons of funds. And they're doing that with the intention of building the next wave of blockchain applications. And they'll need developers to do it. So there could be some restructuring of the industry where like people that overhired, some of those employees and developers will have to move to other companies. And so that doesn't necessarily, we don't exactly know what's going to happen if you were working at like sort of a poorly funded startup or a startup that doesn't have a very strong future. Like, that job may not be safe, or maybe, there's some big corporate job that did a layoff. That individual job, may have some sort of like hiccup along the way. But the overall demand for blockchain development, if you're in the industry right now, is definitely not going away. And if you're trying to break into the industry, there's definitely still a ton of demand. So the reason I'm making this video is because I've seen people like kind of worried about this. It's an important thing. If you're trying to make a decision on, how should you spend your time and earn your money, then you definitely want to understand sort of the inside scoop on, what's happening in the industry. So a couple tips here. All right. A couple tips if you're kind of on the fence about this, or you're just kind of concerned about, a recession, because I understand it's a scary time for everybody, right? Like nobody likes that word. And sometimes whenever it hits the news, like instantly people just start kind of going crazy, right? They start thinking irrationally. So what's some of the best things that you can do to sort of help like offset some of that, if you're trying to break into the space, or like you have a job now and you kind of want to, make yourself feel better about that situation? Well, definitely number one is you're always going to have a job like if you're irreplaceable. I'll put it that way. Okay. So now you can be irreplaceable a few different ways. One of those is essentially, you could be the absolute best coder, right? But you kind of have to have the aptitude and the experience to be the absolute best coder. So that's not like, that's not the best news for everybody, right? Because, just how the world kind of works. But you don't have to be the best coder in order to be irreplaceable. You can also be irreplaceable for whatever your job is by your attitude and your work ethic, okay? So like if you're not the absolute best coder, also asterisk yet, like you could be with enough experience, right? Then you want to be irreplaceable in your work ethic. You want to always be putting your best foot forward and like trying to focus on how you can provide value. The last thing you want to do is start to become like a complacent, lazy, entitled programmer. Those people exist, okay? And unless you're really, 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 really good, like that's gonna, you don't want to do that right now. Put it that way. So always be putting your best foot forward. beat your replaceable. That's going to way increase the likelihood that, you're going to do well over the long term. And I really think most people watching this video don't have a lot to worry about. It's just if you are a worrisome person, like that's what you can do to help offset some of that. Okay. So yeah, I mean, overall, big picture, like, would the crypto industry maybe take a little bit of a hit from this? Yeah, definitely. But is it one of those things that just changes the game completely? And the opportunity? Absolutely not. Okay. Because I've seen some people kind of worried about that. And I want to mostly talk about in this video to kind of, set your mind at ease, because, it's scary when crypto prices go down like this. People start doubting the future of crypto. Crypto prices are one of the biggest things that cause people to think that the technology is working and is valuable. It's absolutely crazy, right? There's this false idea that, like, well, when Bitcoin goes up, then, I guess the crypto industry is headed somewhere. And when Bitcoin goes down, the crypto industry is not heading anywhere. It's this really strange thing that people do. Okay. So, I mean, the truth is the price has some impact on the overall space, but that's a false sort of bias and association people make. Somebody says as a blockchain dev, my sentiment is double down. Somebody says market is down. Yeah, Binance and other big companies are forming crypto funds to support and buy companies' projects. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're, like I was saying before, we're still seeing lots of, funds raised in the space. So let's see here. So one thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, another thing too is, like, again, I was here during 2018, 2019 bear market, and crypto was way less mature than it was back then. There was still a ton of development happening. There was still an insane demand for blockchain developers. I saw it firsthand, right? I saw people making insane salaries and getting scooped up because, the ones who could provide value, they knew that it was going to be, big. So, one thing I want to bring up here is I don't want to pull this from my screen because I don't want to share this person's information without their permission. But I'll just share his first name, so Nick. So I got a message from Nick yesterday into the Blockchain Mastery community. So he says, thanks to, so he messaged me in the group here. He said, thanks to you and your team. So finally got hired recently, and now he is full-time crypto. So congratulations to Nick. I thought that was a good, timely testimonial here. So if you happen to be watching the live stream, congratulations. And I also wanted to bring that up in the middle of our stream today, since we're talking about this topic of, like, hey, what's going to happen in the industry? Well, that's proof positive. We just had somebody else land their first blockchain job. So there's definitely opportunities for people who are breaking into the space, regardless of what's happening with the crypto markets. So this is how is something that happens in the U.S. affecting a deregulated crypto market? Well, that's a good question. So, I mean, a lot of money flows in and out of the U.S., and a lot of U.S. dollars flow in and out of the U.S. equities markets, right, and into the crypto markets, and those have been highly correlated, especially when we're talking about risk assets, okay? So we're talking about, like, how people feel about tech stocks, how people feel about growth-based stocks versus crypto. They're kind of in a similar ballpark, and then people think crypto is even riskier. So, yeah, it definitely has a factor. So this is, will embedding a web server in my app have any advantages? So if you're like a decentralized application, then definitely, hosting your front end on a web server can be a good thing. All right, so let's look at I want to look at a an interesting thing that saw come up yesterday. This was from Vitalik on Twitter. I thought it was funny. So this is from Paul Graham. He said, the vast majority of developers still debug using print statements. This is an email from a founder. And then Vitalik chimed in and said, yes, I do this when I'm editing code or text and need to jump to some other section, but I know I will need to jump back. I put the word moose somewhere so I can control F for easily when I need to get back. So I don't know if Vitalik's trolling or if he actually puts the word moose inside of his code to go find other places. So let me know down in the comment section below. Do you do you have some funny word that you put in your code to go find bugs? Somebody says they're a Shopify developer and still see jobs for both Shopify and blockchain, so I doubt it'll hit us hard. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like, I really don't think this is a deal breaker by just imagination for the crypto industry or anybody's got blockchain skills. I just see people kind of worried about it, and so I wanted to talk about it in the video today. All right, so I want to talk about, I'll do a quick peek at the crypto markets, and we'll answer some more questions in the chat here. So one like potential outcome of what's happening here in crypto right now, that honestly I think is kind of a long shot, but is possible. Okay. So first of all, we're looking at crypto markets here. Things definitely looking kind of bearish. Bitcoin's back below $30,000. I don't know why my camera just decided to zoom out on me. That's weird. Interesting. Bitcoin's trading back below $30,000. Ether's back down about 1,750. All right. So I don't know why my camera's doing that. I've never seen it do that before. So sorry, I've got a technical difficulty, everybody. It's like kind of freaking out on me. So as we've kind of been in this bearish downtrend, okay. I think we have some correlation to the downside with what's going on with the stock market. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Okay, yeah. I mean, we've already got a red day on tech. Okay. All right, so we definitely see some correlation with what's going on in tech. So anyways, the whole point here is we're seeing a ton of headwind in the broader economy, right? So basically stocks, crypto, everything's essentially kind of facing the same problem. It's not just a crypto-specific problem, although crypto, I think, has its own sort of set of unique circumstances with, how people think about crypto cycles, what happened with the Terra Luna stuff. It doesn't work like equities where you could basically, it doesn't have the same incentives to buy as equities, like you're buying ownership in a company, right? It's a different thing completely on its own. I get that. But one potential way that I think crypto could see a recovery. All right. I've been entertaining this idea. Now, don't take this to the bank, right? That's not financial advice, but crypto has a way of essentially proving everybody wrong. Okay. And I've been thinking about this potential hypothesis for how crypto could prove everybody wrong. And there's a little bit of hopium. All right. This is not financial advice. It's not an official prediction, but, think about this. Like, there's a lot of people who are talking about a June or thinking there could be a June rally for crypto, all right, or Bitcoin at least, okay? Because, I mean, we've seen absolute bloodbath, with the crypto markets. I mean, Bitcoin's working on what's like 8th, 9th red candle in a row, something like that. Okay, let's just take a look here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the 10th. We'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're on the 10th red candle. So we're just due for some kind of relief, right? Like Bitcoin can't just go down indefinitely forever. So we're seeing the idea of like a June relief rally. So let's say that we get a June relief rally, which basically means that the crypto price starts going back up, but ultimately we're in, people think we're still in a bear trend. Or what happens with, we get that in June, it extends into July, or it waits till July. So what if we get some sort of relief rally. And then while we're having the relief rally, you have all these people that are like, they're just fading that rally. They're like, hey, I don't believe this is actually going to grow any legs and take off and go anywhere because we're in a bear market, right? Like, it just doesn't do that. Like I've seen this movie before. They get kind of complacent, right, disbelief. And then, like, while we're in the middle of a relief rally, we see a pivot from the Fed, okay? Where basically they're like, okay, we're going to stop raising rates. We've done enough damage. And already, let's say, like, crypto's already had like a 20-25% recovery. And then all markets just instantly go like risk on while we're already having a relief rally. And then you've got all these traders who are and like long-term players who have been sidelined in cash or in stables who have to start chasing this thing. Okay. And that just pours gasoline on the fire that pushes us higher and higher up. So anyways, that's totally speculative. I'm not putting a lot of credence in that or like likelihood that that outcome is going to happen. But, crypto does have a way of doing exactly what everybody thinks it's not going to do. And that's one potential scenario where crypto could actually start to recover and towards all-time highs when nobody thinks it's going to. Okay. Because think about it this way. I mean, I still have yet to find, I've asked about the social media, my YouTube channel, on Twitter all the time. Find me one person who accurately predicted that Bitcoin was going to double top, okay, in 2021. A peak basically in the first half of the year and a peak in the second half of the year to see the pattern that's played out right in here. I have yet to find one person who accurately predicted that. So, and I see nobody talking about the idea that crypto could have a relief rally right now. And then we could see a pivot from the Fed and the monetary policy that would, like nobody's saying this. Okay. So, again, this is not an official prediction. I'm not saying if this happens, I'm not going to like point back to this video and say, oh, look, I told you, like I perfectly predicted the future. Cause I'm not claiming to say this is what's going to happen, but it is one outcome that nobody's really talking about. And so I figured I'd just throw it out there, a little bit of hopium. This was his famous last words. So the best way to make money in crypto to become a developer? Yeah, totally, 100%. So this is final correction point being 22.25 BTC. Might see ETH go to 1.2, 1.4. Jobs come out today, also wanting for interest rates to. Yeah, we are waiting for the interest rate numbers. Job reports did come out today. Let's see here. So just start with Dapp University. Thanks for all that content. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Somebody says it was a dead cat bounce and that was all 9 lives at once. That's pretty good. 9 red candles, 9 lives of the dead cat. Somebody says, hoping to join the Dapp University Bootcamp. What if I don't understand JavaScript? Can I learn Solidity first? Yeah, you can definitely learn Solidity first and learn JavaScript as you go. Somebody says they got the Optimism airdrop the other day thanks to this channel. Awesome. Glad you got that Optimism airdrop. So yeah, definitely subscribe. We're going to be talking about more airdrops coming up in the future. That's one of the great things about the crypto space right now is, even these bear markets, there's going to be lots of opportunities. There's going to be there's definitely going to be opportunities to find those, bear market gems that are going to, increase in value as things come back, which I do think they will. Okay. And also just to get, start using technology and, get rewarded with airdrops. Okay. Because that's got a huge benefit to it too. It's like if you get in there and you try stuff, then basically, like you've got the potential to position yourself for an airdrop. And even if you don't get an airdrop, then you still have the benefit of that experience of using the technology. And it might cost you a little bit of money to make some transactions, but most of the stuff is not that expensive on the grand scheme of things. And you can experiment with pretty small transaction amounts. And yeah, definitely subscribe. We'll be talking about those as soon as they come up. So says, will ETH drop more? It's hard to say. I don't have a crystal ball. Know what's going to happen next. This is which company is paying the highest in blockchain tech? It's hard to know which company is paying highest. Somebody says, this might be a dumb question, but will 2023 be a good year to get a blockchain job? I've seen jobs with salaries as high as $400K. I mean, yeah, there's definitely going to be jobs out there that pay the $400,000 range plus. I mean, you're not going to be probably a beginner and go out and get that. Like tomorrow, if you just learn blockchain, I don't want to set anybody's expectations wrong, but that's definitely an attainable thing over time, especially if you're really, really good. So yeah, I mean, those jobs are not going to go away. Okay. There will be certain like peak periods of opportunity we can get on something early, but the overall, opportunity for blockchain developers is like 2023 is not going to be a bad year to get a blockchain job. Somebody says, got a guy senior blockchain developer position at Mythical Games making $300K a year. So that's from Christian. Christian, are you a recruiter? Somebody says, I will be for Mythical Games. Remember Ian from Greedy Bots? That was our project. I got them position. Awesome. So yeah, I guess Ian got a good job offer. So if Ian got that job offer, yeah, I'd love to have him back on the channel and talk about that. Because it seems like all blockchain jobs are for seniors. That's definitely not true. I've had go check out any of the videos on my YouTube homepage. You know, those are like there's a lot of people who have become blockchain developers from scratch. Okay, who had no prior programming experience, who became blockchain developers, got hired. Helped lots and lots and lots of people do that. If you want proof, just go watch the videos. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast at this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You know, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find those free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you'll take a master's shortcut entirely, I actually become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You get to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.